All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to meet and greet the field for the Winston National Short Track Championship 300. Starting outside row 14, the 122 car out of Greeley, Colorado, the General Air Service and Supply Lumina. Please welcome Bruce the Moose Yeti. Inside of row 14, out of Duluth, Georgia, the Katy Transportation, Leak Transportation, Lumina, Mike Garvey. Row 13 on the outside, out of Wausau, Wisconsin, the 22 car, the Coleman Machine Kings Campers Thunderbird. Please welcome M.G. Gajewski. Inside of row 13, out of Plainwell, Michigan, the 5 car, the Acrotech Only Racing Engines Lumina. Please welcome Dick Harrington. Moving up to row 12, on the outside, the 51 car out of La Crosse, Wisconsin, the TC Motorsports Carrera Shock Olds Cutlass. Please welcome Tom Carlson. Inside of row 12, the 01 car out of DeKalb, the Breezy's Lord Stanley's Bar and Grill Grand Prix, Ron Breezy Jr. Row 13. On the outside, the 43 car out of South Beloit, Illinois, the Richard J. Bowers Heating and Cooling Shoemaker Irrigation Lumina. Please welcome Dennis Miller. Inside of row 11, out of Beloit, the 58 car, the Ed Wise Promotions Lumina, Don Leach. Don's going to take the shortcut. All right, we move up to row 10. On the outside, the 12 car out of West Bend, Wisconsin, the Wilderness Log Homes Perkins Restaurant Lumina. Please welcome Tony the Tiger Strupp. Inside of row 10, the 88 car out of Northfield, Minnesota, the Sleepless Nights Lumina, Craig Hurlbert. Moving up to row 9, the outside, the 90 car out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Ryan Motors Napa Auto Parts Lumina, Bob Fox. Inside of row 9, the 36 car out of Clinton, Wisconsin, 7-time Winston National Short Track Champion, the Nielsen Racing Left-Hander Chassis Lumina, Joe Shear. Up to row 8, on the outside, the 45 car out of Independence, Iowa, the Triangle Plastics Camaro, Kurt Martin. Inside of row 8, the 6 car out of Necedah, Wisconsin, the Coleman Racing Products Lumina, Tim Sauter. Row 7, on the outside, the 8 car out of Cambridge, Wisconsin, the Al's Auto Sales and Salvage Lumina, Matt the Brat Kinsev. Inside of row 7, the 9 car out of Racine, Wisconsin, the Al's Auto Sales and Salvage Thunderbird, the Gentle Giant Dennis Lampman. Up to row 6, the 28 car, your fast qualifier on the outside of row 6, out of Roseville, Minnesota, the John J. Meyer Insurance Cutlass, the leader in the ARTGO Point standings, Jim Weber. Inside of row 6, the 92 car, now out of McWanago, Wisconsin, the JTS Iroquois Foundry Lumina. Please welcome Conrad Morgan. In row 5, on the outside, the 50 car out of West Salem, Wisconsin, the Blatz Cutlass, the defending champion of the ARTGO Challenge Series. Please welcome Steve Carlson. Inside of row 5, the 65 car out of Mosinee, Wisconsin, the Valvoline Lumina, the All-Pro Series driver, the 65 car, Kevin Sawinski. In row 4, on the outside, the 78 car out of Bangor, Wisconsin, the Baker Motorsports Thunderbird. Please welcome Steve Holzhausen. On the inside of row 4, the 61 car out of Lockport, Illinois, the Calderon Builders Camaro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Tracy Schuler. Up to row 3, the 30 car out of Minooka, Utica, Illinois. The G&M Auto Service, Pennzoil Lumina, the 30 car Larry Schuler. Inside of row 3, the 73 car out of Madison, Wisconsin, the Associated Controls Lumina, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Wood. Now the front 2 rows on the outside of row 2, the 44 car out of Merrill, Wisconsin, the red, white, and blue Rosemary Ford Old Style Thunderbird of Neil Callahan. Inside of row 2, the 69 car out of Crystal Lake, Illinois, the Kerry Dairy Thunderbird, the winner of the best appearing car and crew, the Moo-Mobile Bobby Brownell. And now the front row on the outside, the 17 car out of Shawnee, Kansas, the 5-star Racing C&D Body Shop Lumina, the favorite son of Shawnee, Kansas, Rick Beebe. And on the pole for the 300 this afternoon, the 14 car out of Franklin, Wisconsin, the Al's Auto Sales and Salvage Lumina, ladies and gentlemen, Al Schill. And let's put our hands together for the entire field. 28 cars ready to battle here in the Winston National Short Track Championship 300. And we get the signal, ladies and gentlemen. Let's count it down. Let's get them going. Let's get them going in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. ARTGO Racing. And the start your engine sign comes up off the back straight.
And all the crew chiefs have their checkered flags in the air, so it appears everyone was able to answer the bell and get their engines started. And 28 ARTGO Challenge Series late model stock cars roar to life and follow up behind the pace truck so we can get them in line, and 300 laps of racing action coming your way. Settle in. The wave lap will be the first time by, so here's your chance when we come by the main grandstand. You'll get your first crack at it. Get your checkered flag, maybe a chance to get on your feet, stretch them out a little bit before we settle in for the 300 lap grind. Wave to your favorite driver. They'll be waving to you back, and send them on their way for 300 laps around the high bank quarter-mile Rockford Speedway, and then we'll come back around the first and second turn, and you fans in the bleacher section, you'll be the next to do it.
This time around, everybody off your seat and on your feet. Everybody up waving. Everybody up waving the good luck driver sign over in the bleacher section. Everybody up waving as they make their way by. Getting ready for 300 laps of racing here. Everybody off your seat and on your feet.
Well, Chris, once again, the 300-lap race will be down in the pit area. I'm trying to give you the information from down here as this race goes on today.
All right, bleacher section, here they come. Here comes the leaders by. Everybody up in the bleacher section. Everybody up waving over there. As the field comes on by, one heck of a lot of horsepower coming at you over in the bleacher section. Garvey starting right from the back of the pack. They'll get the one lap signal this time. The lights go off the back road Pontiac GMC Typhoon. The one lap signal from Tom Powell. In one, they'll go for 300. The Typhoon heading towards the track exit. Off he goes. Rick Beebe bringing the field around. As they come around, picking up speed, coming on a Ford green flag, and we're racing. Al Schill right away to the lead, and Beebe able to tuck in right behind him. or Beebe right to the lead, I'm sorry, and Al Schill tucks in behind. Neil Callahan running third in the 44. Then it's Larry Schuler in the 30, and the 69 of Bobby Brownell. Kevin Sawinski looking for an opening in the 65 car as a lot of the field making its way around. Joe Shear going to tuck in behind that 6 car of Tim Sauter. So Joe Shear not able to tuck in. Now he heads for Sauter.
Shear stuck on the inside of the track, Chris, trying to get up. Tony Strupp will not let him up. Now Joe Shear finally gets enough muscle to get in, and the field is stretched out around this track with 5 laps in the book. And Rick Beebe showing the way.
Beebe and Schill trying to pull away from the rest of the field. Some distance between Schill and Callahan. Single file they go. Shear looking on the inside of that 6 car of Sauter. Sauter now goes to the inside of the 45 of Kurt Martin. The battle back there for about 18th place. Strupp going to try the inside in the 12 car. Harrington, Dick Harrington in turn 2. Harrington swinging it around and backing it into the wall right at the Coors Light sign. Harrington, the 1991 ARTGO Rookie of the Year out of Plainwell, Michigan.
Well, we were commenting earlier before the race started how similar the paint schemes on the 17 of Rick Beebe and the 14 of Al Schills are. They really look like sister cars, even though they are not. Beebe out of Missouri, Kansas area, and Al Schill, of course, from Wisconsin, but those 2 cars look very, very similar.
And we were also mentioning when Al Schill Jr. is also out racing, that paint scheme identical to Dad's 14 car. Dick Harrington will make his way around the field and to the front.
Only the lap car to the inside of Dick Harrington. It'll be single file all the way then from Rick Beebe to Bruce Yackey at the end of the field.
They'll tighten that field up this time around as they get that 1 lap signal. Your leader, Rick Beebe, the 17 car. Al Schill running second in the 14. Then it's Neil Callahan in the 44, the 30 of Larry Schuler, and the 69 of Bobby Brownell. Beebe bringing them down the back straight. Harrington sticking right there on the inside, coming around, green flag, and we're racing. Beebe and Schill trying to break away once more. This time Neil Callahan sticking right on the back bumper of the 14 of Al Schill. A little bit loose as he comes out of turn 4. 4 cars breaking away. Beebe in the 17, Schill in the 14, the 44 of Neil Callahan, and the 30 of Larry Schuler. Tracy Schuler, the 61 car, running back at about the 10th spot. Had an idea on the inside of the 50 of Steve Carlson. Here comes Steve Holzhausen. Holzhausen in the Baker Enterprises 78 car, looking inside the 69 of Bob Brownell. Bruce Yackey, the 122 car, now with Rick Beebe chasing him down. Yackey goes to the inside. Joe Shear inside the 12 of Tony Strupp, trying to get inside the 6 of Tim Sauter. Yackey going a lap down to the 122 as the leader. Rick Beebe in the 17 sets his sights on the 22 of M.G. Gajewski.
51 car trying to move it up, taking Mike Garvey with them as they get around Don Leach in the 58. And the 01 car, Lynn Noasel, or Ron Breezy rather. Breezy trying to move it up. Beebe to the outside of Gajewski. Gajewski about to go one lap down. Two cars now a lap down. Three cars now a lap down. Racing in front of the leader, the 17 car of Rick Beebe coming up on traffic, including the 51 of Tom Carlson, the 32 of Mike Garvey. Greg Hurlbert there in the 88. Garvey hard through the corner. Garvey does not want to go a lap down, that's obvious. He is racing hard to stay out in front of Rick Beebe. Now it's Hurlbert right in front of Beebe down the back straight. Beebe to the outside of Hurlbert. Mike Garvey, the 32, tucking back behind the 51 of Carlson. Don Leach, the 58 car, would be the next victim for the 17 of Rick Beebe. Hold it out of the 6th spot in the 78 car. Then it's the 73 of Jerry Wood, the 50 of Steve Carlson, the 61 of Tracy Schuler, and the 28 of Jimmy Weber. Joe Shear to the inside of Sauter. Sauter and Shear battling for about 17th spot. Joe Shear going to take it over. Spot for Joe Shear. Shear with the lap car of Dick Harrington in front of him now. Don Leach finds himself a lap down of the 58 car. Shear into the inside of Harrington. Shear around the lap car of the 5 of Dick Harrington. Bruce Yackey, a nice job pulling to the inside as the leader coming around. Rick Beebe going to the outside of Yackey in the 122, and Bruce will go one more lap down.
Well, Chris, our first car in the pit area, and it's the 45 car. Kurt Martin came right in, pulled past his pits and into the grass area, and is climbing out of the car.
That'll do it for the young driver out of Independence, Iowa, Kurt Martin. As he unbuckles and he'll exit the 45 car. His crew going over to try to get it back together. Rick Beebe now. The next car he wants to knock off is the 32 of Mike Garvey. Dennis Miller there in the 43, the 51 of Tom Carlson, and the 90 of Bob Fox. Carlson's going to go to the outside of Fox. The 5 car, Dick Harrington off the pace. He'll roll it around and try to get it into the pit area.
Good race, Chris, between the 44 Neil Callahan and the 30 of Larry Schuler for the third spot. Callahan has been fighting and holding off Schuler for lap after lap as they waved their way through, and the 5 car of Dick Harrington does make it into the pit area, so we stay green.
Rick Beebe right on the back bumper of Mike Garvey. Beebe trying to put Garvey a lap down. Garvey will go to the outside of Dennis Miller. Garvey attempting to stay on the lead lap. Miller on the inside, the leader. No place to go. going to take the outside and try to get around Miller. Dennis Miller now a lap down as Beebe goes to work on the 90 of Bob Fox. Beebe to the outside of Fox. Garvey trying everything to stay on the lead lap. And Garvey off the pace. Garvey off the pace in turn one. That'll be it for Mike Garvey, the All-Pro Series champion, parking it down the back straight.
Well, Chris, as you know, Mike Garvey, the only B6 in the field, and it sounded like it would be an engine problem. We'll check with him in a little bit.
They were worried about that a little earlier on, about that engine, and it looks like it came to fruition as the hood comes off the 32, and we'll see if we get a report from Tom Deary, but it looks like a terminal problem for Mike Garvey.
Your leader right now, the 17 of Rick Beebe. Then almost a straightaway back, the 14 of Al Schill running second. Running third, Neil Callahan in the 44 car. Running fourth, the 30 of Larry Schuler. Running fifth, the 69 of Bob Brownell. Up this sixth, the 78 of Steve Holzhausen. Seventh, Jerry Wood in the 73 car. Eighth, the 50 of Steve Carlson. Ninth, the 61 of Tracy Schuler. And 10th, Jimmy Weber in the 28 car.
Chris, you got to be somewhat surprised by the power of Rick Beebe. He has pulled to a straightaway lead on second place Al Schill. And the 17 car running very strong here in the early going.
Well, the next car on the lead lap that Beebe is trying to get to is the 51 of Tom Carlson. Carlson makes it around the outside of the 122 of Bruce Yecke. Second place car now going into turn two. A full straightaway lead for Rick Beebe over the rest of the field. Beebe with Yecke and M.G. Gajewski right in front of him.
And look at second through about 15th place, all single file on the speedway now from Al Schill back.
At 11th through 15th, they're racing hard there. Matt Kinson to the 8 car running at 11th. Then it's the 9 of Dennis Lambert running 12th. Conrad Morgan, the 92, running 13th. Joe Shear running 14th to the 36th. And running 15th, at least for the time being, Kevin Sawinski, as he's being challenged by the 12 of Tony Strupp.
And Chris, the Mike Garvey crew pushing that 32 car off of pit road, so it appears the day is over for the NASCAR All-Pro Series driver.
Rick Beebe putting Craig Hurlburt a lap down in the 88 car. One more lap down for Craig Hurlburt. Here comes Shear. Shear looking on the inside of Morgan. Morgan had ideas on the inside of Lampman. Rick Beebe right now not that far behind. Some of those guys like Lampman, Morgan, Shear, Sawinski, and Strupp. Tom Carlson next in line for Rick Beebe.
Ron Breezy Jr.'s car 01 in the pits with the hood up, Chris, the Pontiac Grand Prix. Could join Kurt Martin, Dick Harrington, and Mike Garvey, who are right now out of this event.
A lot of these guys saying, let's have a yellow here. Here comes Beebe. Beebe, a full half-lap lead.
Well, we don't want to talk too prematurely, but last year there were 79 yellow laps in our 300 lapper. Off to a good start here in the 1992 version. Not if you're Tom Carlson. He's got Rick Beebe in the rear view mirror, trying
trying to stay on the lead lap. The 51 out of Lacrosse, Tom Carlson. Shear sets up inside Morgan and then tucks behind. Here comes Tony Strupp inside the 65 of Kevin Sawinski. That battle going on for 15. Strupp on a 2, going to take over 15. Sawinski to 16. Tim Sauter sets up Sawinski. Sauter on the inside, a little tap out of turn 4. Tim Sauter. Oh, Sauter on the loose, and he gathers it back. Slid way high. And Rick Beattie closing in on those 4 cars. Tim Sauter, Kevin Sawinski, Don Leach, and Tom Carlson. Leach already 1 lap down. Beebe looking inside, looking outside.
The strength of that BB car is unbelievable. Not to take anything away from him, but he is really up on some top-notch competitors already, threatening to put a lap on them.
An incredible run thus far for Rick Beebe. More than half a lap lead over the 14 of Al Schill. Carlson, the 51, is going to go outside the 90 of Bob Fox. Beebe will try to follow him through. Beebe follows through. Bob Fox now running 2 laps down as Craig Hurlbert's going to go another lap down.
Conrad Morgan and Jimmy Weber getting together off of turn number 2. You can see the left rear of Weber's car. They kept going straight in the right direction, but now you can see the flapping of the Conrad Morgan car where he got the Jimmy Weber.
That right front just flapping in the breeze there. A puff of smoke coming up from behind the 8 car, Matt Kinson. I'm not sure, maybe that's coming up from Jimmy Weber. A spin over in turn 2, Dennis Lampman, the 9 car. Spinning in 2, bringing out the yellow. And saving the day for Tom Carlson. Conrad Morgan out of McQuantico, Wisconsin.
Well, Chris, the key thing is here, we're at lap 82. That's enough now to go to the rest of the way. These guys have completed their mandatory pit stops. They're all taking right side tires, except Matt Kenseth not taking right side. They're working on the front end of his. Now let's watch the action in the back pit as those cars enter there. Tom Carlson, who's just about ready to be lapped, he's in. He also is getting right side tire, doing a little suspension work to that car.
All right, the pit action continues here. Conrad
Here
Morgan.
comes the pace car, and the field's ready to pull out. And the 61 car, Tracy Schuler pulling in. They were just picking up the all blocked up. Now you see they poured some water in there. They've got that car cooled off. They tore the screen out of there and have opened that area up.
Yeah, they're going to take a look underneath as they jack up the right side of that car. Taking a look behind the right rear tire of that 8 car. And Kenseth will get out and underway here. Rick Beebe, man, the power behind that 17 car so far this afternoon. Your leader, Rick Beebe in the 17, running second right now, the 14 of Al Schill. Running third, Neil Callahan in the 44. Running fourth, the 69.5 lap lead when the yellow came out. The 1 lap signal from Tom Powell. The 22, the 58, the 90, and the 43. M.G. Gajewski, Don Leach, Bob Fox, and the 43 of Dennis Miller. Laps down at this time. At least 1 lap off the pace.
Let's watch the jump that BB tries to get.
Here they come, picking it up out of Fort Creek flag, and we're racing. Nearing the 1/3.3 wide down the back straight. M.G. Gajewski in the middle of Dennis Miller and Bruce Yackey. A slick move there by all 3 drivers to make it through there.
it hooked up, ready to go. Callahan sticking to third in the 44.
Brownell and Holzhausen running fourth and fifth.
The 12, the 36 of Shearer, Tim Sauter, Steve Carlson, and Conrad Morgan having a good race out there. Zawinski just about puts it sideways through turn 4 in the 65 car. He's done that a couple of times. He's real loose coming out of that fourth turn and has to fight the steering wheel. Dennis Miller going one more lap down to Rick Beebe. Bobby Brownell, that 69 car, setting up inside the 44 of Neil Callahan. The battle's on for third out of turn 2. Callahan able to hold on. Here comes the 78 of Holzhausen. Going to go to the outside of Brownell. Brownell swings it in front of Holzhausen. Here comes Joe Shear. He looks low on the 12 of Tony Struck. 100 laps in the book, Chris. 1/3 of the way through this one. Struck really diving into the corners but not holding on. Joe Shear has ideas of going to the outside of the 12 of Tony Struck. Shear will do it. Shear looking. Struck tucks back in front. Keep your eyes on the 12 and the 36. Rick Beebe with clear sailing down the back straight in the 17. Al Schill holding on a second. Then it's Neil Callahan in the 44. Shear again tried to set up inside Struck, but there's Bob Fox, the 90 car, a lap car. As Shear gets back in line. Tony Struck really diving down in the corners. Joe Shear got to be getting a little frustrated at this point. Slowing down as you see the field going around the black 43 of Dennis Miller. Amy just keeps opening it up in the 17 car. They're sailing for Rick Beebe right now. Al Schill able to pull away from the 44 of Callahan. Schill holding on to the second spot. Struck looking low in the corners. Tony Struck goes to that inside. Jimmy Weber. Struck pulling up on Weber now. Shear's going to look to an opening to the outside.
inside here. And Strupp tucks in right in front of Joe Shear one more time. Tony Strupp using all of the track. Off the pace, Bruce Yackey in the 122. Weber now sets the 28 car. It's all Weber and Wood, and Strupp and Shear. Weber goes to the outside of Wood now. Jerry Wood gonna tuck inside Tony Strupp. Strupp gonna look inside. Shear gonna look inside. Matt Kinsa, V8 car, setting up inside the 6 of Tim Sauter. Those two cars, the last two cars on the lead lap. Tony Strupp taking the 12 around the 73 of Jerry Wood. Joe Shear following Strupp through. Here comes Steve Carlson setting up inside Wood. Zawinski and Schuler side by side. The 65 of Kevin Zawinski. The 30 of Larry Schuler. Steve Carlson and Jerry Wood in a battle.
Carlson finally works his way around and now sets his sights on the Joe Shear, Tony Strupp battle right in front of him.
That moves Steve Carlson up to 9th. Bobby Brownell, the 69 car, sticking right there with Neil Callahan in the 44. Callahan running 3rd, Brownell 4th. Steve Holzhausen running 5th in the 78. Running 6th, the 28 of Jimmy Weber. Then it's Tony Strupp, Joe Shear, and Steve Carlson.
Kevin Zawinski and Jerry Wood getting together here in the front straightaway, but everyone's still going the right way. Zawinski then slingshotted around the 51 of Tom Carlson, and now he's on the rear of Larry Schuler.
Jerry Wood going towards the back fast here. A big puff of smoke out of the back into the 8 car of Matt Kinson.
Joe Shear and Tony Strupp at it again, Chris. They are banging and bumping as they go down the main straightaway. Racing all around the speedway right now with 125 laps down.
Shear's going to set up low. Strupp's going to slam that door shut one more time. Opening that lead up a little bit more again as he works the outside of the 43 of Dennis Miller. Al Schill running 2nd in the 14 car. Neil Callahan having a great run here in that 44 car, holding on to 3rd.
Well, Chris, as you can see out on the track, Steve Carlson leads that pack of those who have hit it in sort of the second race, if you will, going on right now. That's also been a great battle between Steve Carlson, Conrad Morgan right there, and then Schuler as well. Those guys have already hit it. So
Joe Shear again letting the 12 of Tony Strupp know that he's there. A pretty good, healthy shot to Strupp as they came out of 2 a couple of laps ago. Open. Thank you, sir. 6 car, Tim Sauter, rolling off the wall in turn 2. Sauter goes a lap down. clears the 6 car. The next one in line on the lead lap is the 73 of Jerry Wood for Rick Beebe. We near the halfway point here. About 13 more laps to the halfway point. Closing in on the 73 of Jerry Wood. Al Shield kind of backing up a little bit. Neil Callahan going around in 4. Callahan has to go to the inside. Bobby Brownell will move it up to 3rd. Holzhausen to the outside. Holzhausen up to 4th. Here comes Weber. And Joe Shear sets up to the outside of Tony Stroh.
Callahan needs to duck back in line, and he does. But a tough break. I was just about to say, quietly running in 3rd is Neil Callahan, and now he drops back. Brownell did a nice job to hang on and moves up a notch to the number 3 spot.
Joe Shear finally able to get around the 12 of Tony Stroh, and he'll go to the inside of the 44 of Neil Callahan. Joe Shear moving up now. Joe Shear up to 6th. Stroh works on the inside of Callahan. Callahan's going to work his way right towards the back. The 50 of Steve Carlson making it around. The 92 of Conrad Morgan around Neil Callahan. Something is loosened up on the 44 car. Rick Beebe closing in on the 73 of Jerry Wood.
Neil Callahan hits the pit exit there, the tire. The 44 car, Chris, you said it. Something was wrong on the car. He went sideways and hit that tire that protects the pit exit in turn number 3 and took a solid lick in the 44. And that brings out our 3rd yellow. Chris, we did get this late news. NASCAR Winston Cup fans, the race in Martinsville today was rained out. Martinsville rained out today, and they will run that race tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock on our time. So set your VCRs when you go to work, and you can have that race for you tomorrow night when you come home.
10 o'clock tomorrow in Martinsville with Kyle Petty on the pole for it. Now the field will pick it up. We'll go back racing here. Here they come. On a turn 4, green flag, and we're racing.
Conrad Morgan hard off the wall on the restart.
Morgan right into the wall. The 58 car will get one of his laps back.
I don't know if a tire went odd on Conrad or what, Chris. He came off that turn and the car just went right. He hit that retaining wall really hard. Carlson, of course, trying to keep everybody as far down as he can, so he will certainly try to outrace Schill and keep him the lap down.
135 laps remaining. Steve Carlson taking the field down the back straight. It's Carlson, Larry Schuler as they line up down the back straight. Al Schill's going to be trying to get that lap back. They pick up speed as they come on a turn 4, green flag, and we're racing. A good start for Steve Carlson. Schill will go to the inside one more time. He tucks back behind. Bobby Brownell sliding in turn 4. Right in front of Kevin Zawinski. Zawinski sticks to the outside. Schuler running second in the 30 car with the 6 car of Tim Sauter right on the back bumper. Sauter is a lap down. Tom Carlson holding down 3rd in the 51 car. Kevin Zawinski running 4th in the 65. And running 5th is 61 of Tracy Schuler. Then it's the 8 of Matt Kinson being challenged for that 6th spot by Joe Shear in the 36 car. Shear with Beebe right on the back bumper.
of Tracy Schuler.
Well, Chris, without the use of a stopwatch, I'd have to say that Steve Carlson is not the fastest car on the track. You might find a car like Kevin Sawinski or even the 78 of Holzhausen being one of the faster cars right now.
Tom, you're exactly right. Steve Holzhausen is the fastest car on the track.
And there goes Rick Beebe, the 17, looking inside the 8 of Matt Kinson. Shear to the inside of Schuler. Joe Shear, first time today up into the top 5. Steve Carlson, then it's the 30 of Larry Schuler, the 51 of Tom Carlson. The 65 of Kevin Sawinski and the 36 of Joe Shear. There goes Holzhausen inside Kinson. Holzhausen unable to make the pass in that Thunderbird. Again setting up inside. Tony Struck going to go to the outside of Holzhausen. And Holzhausen now side by side, and Jimmy Weber going to go to the outside of Holzhausen. Strupp sets up inside Kinson and then backs off in the corner. Al Schill 1 lap down, trying to get that lap back from Steve Carlson.
We were talking about who might be the fastest car on the track. A couple of the pit crews around here say it's the 30 car of Larry Schuler, who happens to be one of the faster cars on the track right now.
There's no doubt about that. He's sticking right there with Al Schill, and Schill is a lap down. But Steve Carlson not able to pull out from Schill and Schuler. Lots of smoke coming up from behind the 51 of Tom Carlson. So Sawinski right behind Tom Carlson with Joe Shear in tow.
Point to make about Larry Schuler is we don't think here in the tower that he has pitted though. Running in the second spot. I don't think Larry Schuler has made that mandatory pit stop yet.
More smoke coming up from behind the 51 of Tom Carlson. Kevin, oh, there he goes. He just let loose. And takes Shear and Sawinski and Brownell with him. The smoke was showing, and he just let loose as he goes into one. Sawinski with no place to go. Shear got on the fluid, and up into the wall goes Joe Shear and Bobby Brownell looping that car. Tracy up to third, and look who's back to fourth. The 17 of Rick Beebe. Back up to fourth place. Tony Strupp running fifth in the 12 car. Jerry Wood is laps down in that 73 car. He is a lap car. Here they come. Kinson there, and Steve Holzhausen as they pick up speed. Green flag, and we're racing. Sauter trying to get it back. Al Schill trying to get a lap back. They'll stretch it out here and go back racing for the final 102 laps here. as Steve Carlson brings him around. Larry Schuler with 2 lap cars in front of him. Then it's Rick Beebe overtaking the 61 of Tracy Schuler. Beebe up to 3rd. Tony Struck, the 12th car, running 5th. His sights set on the 61 of Tracy Schuler. Rick Beebe showing us how to come back through the field here. What a day it's been for the driver out of Shawnee, Kansas. Jimmy Weber, the 28, looking to the inside of the 78 of Steve Holzhausen. Weber moves it up around the Thunderbird. Weber looking to move it around Matt Kinson. Tony Struck, the 12th car, looking to the inside of Tracy, or rather, Tracy Schuler, the 61. The battle for 4th place. Going into turn 1, the 61 of Tracy Schuler holding 4th. Tony Struck wants that spot in the 12th car. Steve Carlson able to extend that lead now over the 30 of Larry Schuler as Schuler in lap traffic. Rick Beebe closing in on Schuler. Al Schill around the 6 of Tim Sauter. Tim Sauter saw that lead, the leaders coming, and moved over. Schill a lap down. Larry Schuler going to try to get around the 14 of Al Schill, and he went to the inside and started to slide that 30 car.
Steve Carlson enjoying that battle back there because that's allowing him to stretch the lead out. As Schill, Schuler, Beebe, Schuler, and the rest of that Tony Struck battle, Steve Carlson stretching out the advantage.
Watch out for Jimmy Weber, the 28, moving up in the field. Now Al Schill goes down to the inside, so Larry Schuler making it around on the outside. There goes Rick Beebe to the outside. Those cars will attempt to reel in that 50 car of Steve Carlson. Tucks in behind the 12 of Tony Struck. Your lead 5 cars now without any lap traffic. Struck the 12 car, looking to the inside of the 61 of Tracy Schuler. The battle for 4th has been going on for quite some time. Struck with some position down the back straight. Tony the Tiger sliding a bit forward, tucks it back behind Schuler. Again to the inside.
Since Larry Schuler was able to shake Al Schill, he has closed the gap between he and the leader, Steve Carlson. Larry Schuler.
There goes Struck. To the inside of Tracy Schuler again. Struck and Schuler really racing hard. Again, Tracy Schuler able to put Tony Struck back in line. Rick Beebe on the back bumper of the 30 of Larry Schuler. Beebe tested out the inside again. He sets up on the inside. Strupp now with position on Schuler. Strupp takes over fourth in turn 4. Strupp, the 12 car, trying to reel in that 17 of Rick Beebe. Laps to go for Steve Carlson. Larry Schuler slowly reeling in Steve Carlson. He's closing that gap somewhat. Around Gajewski as Beebe goes around Gajewski.
Larry Schuler taking the high groove through the turns. As you see him come up high off of turn 4. He's got Rick Beebe, though, right on his tail.
Rick Beebe starting to mount that challenge one more time. He had tucked back behind. And now Beebe working hard at it. Jimmy Weber, the 28, able to reel in the 61 of Tracy Schuler. Carlson actually extending that lead a little bit at this point, starting to pull out. Big time race going on for that second spot right now as Rick Beebe keeps looking on the inside. Tony Strupp, one of those cars we mentioned that may be the fastest out there. Jimmy Weber pulling up on the back bumper of the 61 of Tracy Schuler. That battle going on for the 5th spot. Tracy Schuler in the 61 car running 5th. And Weber, the 28, running 6th. Steve Holzhaus in the 78, unable to keep pace with Weber. Within a few laps here, Steve Carlson's going to be running into some left traffic in front of him.
Just short of a yellow flag, that's about the only hope Larry Schuler and Rick Beebe and Tony Strupp have right now of catching Steve Carlson.
Schuler getting very high in turn 4.
His car hasn't pushed in it, I think. He's really going into those turns high.
Jimmy Weber with ideas at 28, looking on the inside of the 61 of Schuler. The battle for 5th continues. Weber with a little tap to Schuler out of turn 4. Carlson clearing the 90 of Bob Fox. He's got some side-by-side traffic in front of him. goes to the outside of the 58 of Don Leach, with Jerry Wood now in front of Carlson. Jerry Wood goes to the inside, allows Carlson through. Kinseth being put a lap down by Carlson. Steve Carlson making it around the 8 of Matt Kinseth. As they work their way through traffic, Schuler closing the gap and got up near 2 seconds, back down to 1.6 second lead for Steve Carlson.
With the crew of the 17 car, Rick Beebe, who said they may have used up a little bit too much brake in the first part of the race. That might be what's holding the 17 car back right now.
Well, he had tested that inside out against Schuler, and now he seems to be content to tuck in behind. Let's drop another one there. That had tested the inside and decided to get back in line. No lap traffic between Carlson and Schuler. Schuler up near the wall, and he lost. Oh, my! Yellow comes out. Beebe involved there. Schuler. And Strupp makes it through. Tony Strupp going to take over second.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they tell the lap cars to get into that double file. Jimmy Weber rolling to a stop again over in turn 4. And Weber was going to be showing that. There it is, trying to fire it up again into the infield. He goes in the 28 car, and his crew will be running over to try to get that 28 car all the way into the pits here.
Chris, I don't know if you heard it, but when he fired up that time, there was a very loud explosion sort of out of the car. Made everybody in the pit area sort of jump, but Jimmy Weber, he's pulling the gloves off. Looks like he's all done for today.
There's your ARTGO points leader right there into the infield.
And the 30 car, just like Gary Schultz said, we think we got a tire going flat, and by golly, it's true, the left front tire on the 30 car going flat. They're in the pit area for a quick tire change.
All right, the field making its way around. Jimmy Weber's crew getting the car over to that pit area. Larry Schuler, they're going to try to stay on that lead lap. They're getting the tire put on there. And Larry Schuler going to go a lap down now. Larry Schuler 1 lap down. So Larry Schuler 1 lap down, and we're going to go back green here with Steve Carlson, your leader. Tracy Schuler running second. Steve Holshausen third. Rick Beebe fourth in the 17. Here they come around turn 4, green flag, and we're racing. And running fifth, Tony Strupp, the last car on the lead lap, that 12th car.
Believe so, and keep your eyes on Steve Holshausen as he tries to work around Tracy Schuler. Steve Carlson able to stretch it out a little bit, though, with 30 laps left in this event.
Tom Deary, your microphone's still keyed there. Steve Carlson going to be bringing the field around out of turn 4. Carlson, Schuler, Holshausen with Beebe right on the back bumper, the 17 car, trying to stick right there with the Thunderbird of Steve Holshausen. Down to 28 to go. Steve Carlson with a 1.24 second lead over the 61 of Tracy Schuler. Schuler going to be going to the outside of the 58 of Don Leach. Leach moves over, and Schuler comes through. Al Schill, that 14, able to stick right with the leaders. Unfortunately, Schill a lap down. I believe Al Schill just one lap down, though. And that would put him into 6th place right now.
Steve Carlson has never won a Winston National Short Track Championship and would love to put that on his racing resume here if he can hang on for 24 more laps.
Carlson looking to put some distance between himself and Schuler. Rick Beebe unable to stick with a 78 of Steve Holzhausen. Carlson extends it to 1.4 second lead over Schuler. 280 in the books, 20 laps to go for Steve Carlson, looking for his first ever Winston National Short Track Championship title. The all-important ARTGO points race up for grabs as Carlson's going to be closing right in on Jimmy Weber. We'll try to update that later.
Tony Strupp going up high and losing power, and now tries to hang on the front straightaway right in front of Kenseth and Schuler.
That right front tire. Well, no, more than that going is some fluids coming out from beneath Tony Strupp's car. Fluids over in turn 1.
Water or something coming out of the engine, Chris, and the black flag's going to come out for Tony Strupp to send him into the infield. With only 15 laps left, this bunches it up, but again, that car of Al Schill between Steve Carlson and Tracy Schuler.
No reason to give Al Schill that move over sign because Schuler has not caught Al Schill yet.
Whoa, look out, we're all backed up here in the front straightaway.
Now Matt Kenseth is going to tuck up inside Carlson, but Al Schill needs, oh, look out here. Al Schill needs to tuck inside Tom Carlson at this time.
Tracy Schuler knows that Al has to double up, so that's why he was trying to make that point. The message is now being communicated to the crews, and that will happen.
That will get straightened out, as you say, Tom, right now here in the front straightaway. The 14 should duck to the inside of Steve Carlson. There he goes. And that'll let Tracy Schuler in the 61 get right up on the leader. Followed by Steve Holzhausen at 78. Rick Beebe at 17. So this is not over yet.
We're going to have an 8-lap shootout coming up. They'll be going 1 this time around. It'll be a 7-lap shootout coming up to determine the Winston National Short Track Champion for 1992.
The key is going to be the restart. Tracy Schuler and Steve Holzhausen need to not let Steve Carlson get that advantage that he's gotten on previous restarts here in this last sequence. Let's see how it shakes out. It's all come down to this 7 laps to decide the champion.
The word from the Tracy Schuler pit crew is that they've been waiting for this opportunity. This is what the afternoon has played for them. They've been sort of laying back. Now's their chance.
See how it goes.
Steve Carlson bringing the field around. Tracy Schuler sticking right there on a 4 green flag, and we're racing.
Carlson got that advantage.
Matt Kinson off the pace on the start. Right away off the start, he bunched him up right behind Matt Kinson. Schuler trying to reel in Steve Carlson. Steve Holzhausen trying to get around the 14 of Al Schill. Holzhausen running third, Rick Beebe running fourth in the 17. Then it's Tony Strupp in the 12 car, running fifth. The move over flag being shown to the 14 of Al Schill. Holzhausen goes to the outside of Schill. Car smoking away through the corners. The flag, the consultation flag out for the 12 of Tony Struck.
And Steve Carlson has 3 more times around to hang on.
The black flag a second time for Tony Struck. Steve Carlson holding on here. Schuler and Holzhausen, Rick Beebe. And the 12 of Tony Struck, this time he has to go into the pits.
The white flag this time, Chris, for Steve Carlson.
What a couple of weekends. It's the 17, no, it's the 78 of Holzhausen breaking loose on the white flag lap. Coming to the checkered flag is Steve Carlson. Second to Tracy Schuler. Third's going to be Rick Beebe in the 17 car. Fourth might be Steve Holzhausen. And he's got to get it across the line, and he does it. He brings it home fourth, Steve Holzhausen. With a fourth place finish, those 4 cars on the lead lap. And what a couple of weeks it's been for our winner here this afternoon, Steve Carlson. And that's going to make it interesting in that ARTGO points race as they head off to Toledo next Saturday afternoon. His first ever Winston National Short Track Championship.
Well, the key, I think, in that, Chris, was the restart. Steve Carlson never let Tracy Schuler get near him to even mount a challenge on the restart.
And we're going to send it on trackside. Another happy winner down there, as Steve Carlson has had one whale of 8 days here between Colorado and Rockford.
First time ever in the Winston National Short Track Championship victory lane. And there he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Carlson. Steve Carlson getting those Hoosier colors on, and he puts the hat on, getting all set as they'll get the infield backdrop in place.
Oh, maybe a lot. Steve, you came back. You've been to this race a whole bunch of times. First time in victory lane. Boy, you got to feel good.
I sure do. You know, I've led this race so many times in the early part of the race, and then we pit late, and we'd end up in the back. Today we pitted early. Got us our first win.
You have been on sort of a streak lately with a big $10,000 win 2 weeks ago, and now coming home with this $5,000 today. It's been a good month for you.
I'll say, you know, this car got wrecked real bad, and Wayne, over to left-hander chassis, fixed it for me, and it's faster than it ever was.
Well, I know, ladies and gentlemen, on your way out, let's have a nice round of applause, if you will, for Steve Carlson. Yeah, you've probably, just like I told Jerry Guile, he'd won the 200 lapper, you've probably seen a lot of guys wearing this. Now that you've got it around your neck, it's a good feeling, isn't it?
I think it's great.
All right, Steve Carlson. We're going to get him, we'll get our Winston people down here to pose with the camera here. David, take it away.